Hello, my name is Betsy. I'm an MSc Management with Project Management student at BPP University, and this is a brief video on my final project. So the research title was An Investigation into Staff Compliance and Perceptions of a Surgical Operational Checklist, a Veterinary Case Study. So a bit of background to the study. Checklists were introduced in the aviation industry about 80 years ago to great success, mainly to improve safety of people, but also to improve operational efficiency and reduce staff errors and reduce that tendency to rely on memory. So this was then adapted in human medicine, in the healthcare industry, to improve patient safety and also operational efficiency, workflow, teamwork and communication. There have also been some financial benefits that have been recorded as well in the literature. So there's very little in the veterinary industry at the moment in terms of literature on operational efficiency through the use of checklists, and also about patient safety or about improving teamwork or communication amongst staff. And so I really wanted to look into some staff perceptions of a particular surgical operational checklist, and to look into compliance as well post implementation of one in a real life setting. So in the case study, a checklist was implemented, and between weeks 1 and 15 I collected data on compliance, staff compliance. So the methodology revolved around quantitative data in the form of questionnaires to gauge the staff perceptions, but also again the compliance data. So for every surgical procedure that required a checklist over a 15-week period, I looked into whether a checklist was completed, and then I also analysed the checklists that were completed further, just to see the level to which staff were actually completing them. Because the evidence at the moment in the human field suggests that not completing these checklists correctly, or any checklist correctly, can actually mean that it's then a hindrance, or it's not going to play its role in efficiency. And actually there's probably little point in doing it. So of the 165 checklists that were completed over the 15-week period, I analysed these all individually as well. I used descriptive statistics to report the results of all the data, and findings. Generally, there was an inconsistency in compliance between weeks 1 and 5, but if we look at week 1, where there was a 54% compliance rate, to week 15, where there was a 95% compliance rate, actually there was an increase. But having a look at the weeks in between, this wasn't a gradual increase. This was very up and down along the way. No real pattern to it. So then again, looking at the level to which the checklists that were completed this was quite poor overall. So with an average weekly average of 60% in week 1, so of the checklists that were being completed, on average 60% of them were being filled out correctly or at all, and the remainder potentially left blank. And then week 15 was the same. So on average, the checklists that were being completed were 60% completed. And this average figure for any week never rose above 72%. So generally, the level to which they were being filled out was quite poor. If you consider that parts of those checklists were being missed out, that then leaves room for staff error, and that's quite an important thing that the organisation does need to look at, because simply picking up the checklists and saying that people are using them is not adequate, and actually they may not see the benefits of the efficiency, if that is a benefit, or improvements to patient safety, reduction in staff complaints, and things like that. So that does really need to be looked into further by the organisation, because potentially there are other barriers there that are stopping staff from completing them properly. In general, staff felt that barriers were that they were quite timely, the checklist to complete. They found them difficult to remember to complete. Again, I think that comes with change management and the implementation side of things, and also the structure of the checklists were a barrier for them as well. And generally, 53% of staff didn't feel adequately trained in how to use the checklist, but were using it anyway. So that would potentially be a reason for a low level of completion, and the inconsistency in compliance as well. And I think this research has really added something to the veterinary literature, and I think that it's a good start, and I think more needs to be carried out with regards to maybe looking at measurable outcomes to see if operational efficiency is improved, looking at the relationship between compliance and patient outcomes, or compliance and operational efficiency, looking at the financial benefits of improving operational efficiency if it does improve efficiency. So thank you very much, and I will leave it there. Thank you.